What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here to talk about the news that just dropped. Khamzat Chimaev out of the main event against Robert Whittaker. In steps Ikram Aliskerov. Now, before I talk about the main event of Robert Whittaker versus Aliskerov, I need to talk about the reaction that people are having to Khamzat Chimaev pulling out of the fight. Now, Dana White said he is violently ill. I saw a photo of this man in a hospital bed with an emoji over his face, bro. And before I talk about the fan base, Joaquin Buckley commented on the post of Khamzat Chimaev in hospital saying, if he dies, he dies. You're a fucking scumbag. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You're not even in the same division as this cunt. And you're talking about if he dies, he dies. So fuck Joaquin Buckley for that. And as for the fans being like, oh my god, this guy's such a pull-out merchant. Bro, Chimaev's washed, cut him from the UFC. He's in fucking hospital. What the fuck do you want him to do? He's in fucking hospital. Clearly, he has some sort of like long-form COVID after effects. I don't even know, bro. This guy seriously needs fucking medical help, bro. I'm not gonna hate on a guy for getting hospitalized before a fight. And if you right now are like, oh my god, bro, the fucking UFC sucks, dude. Chimaev's a pull-out merchant. Bro, get some fucking perspective in your life, bro. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. People are tripping over this fight, acting like Chimaev is like making up excuses. They did the same thing when Paulo Costa literally had an infection growing in his arm. They're calling him a pull-out merchant, saying cut him from the UFC. People are fucking crazy when it comes to seeing UFC fights. Now, obviously, am I happy that this fight got cancelled? No, bro. I wanted to see Whittaker versus Chimaev. I thought Chimaev was going to win. I was getting ready to drop videos talking about, bro, Chimaev's going to sub Whittaker in round 1. But now, we have Ikram Aliskerov, one of the biggest goofy goobers in the UFC. This is a man that I've said is going to get fraud checked for a long time, that I've said I don't really see the hype. And I'm going to be honest, I think now's the time. I just want to say it right now. Congratulations to Robert Whittaker, bro. You've been handed a free fraud check victory. Punch your Dustin Poirier punch card. You're getting a fucking win over this guy. I don't think Ikram Aliskerov is going to beat Robert Whittaker, man. I think that Robert Whittaker is going to completely style on Ikram Aliskerov with his boxing, with his defense. I think he's going to oblique kick the fuck out of him. I think he's going to jab his face off. Ikram Aliskerov is going to be dangerous for a few moments in the fight. Obviously, he's a powerful guy. He spams punches. He's that mate that puts on infinite finishes in WWE back in the day in SmackDown vs. Raw. This guy's got infinite finishing moves equipped. That's about it. That's really about it. His biggest claim to fame is getting chinned by Khamzat Chimaev. So I feel like Ikram Aliskerov is in for a brutal, unanimous decision from my boy Robert Whittaker. You know, I don't think he's going to get finished. Maybe like a late round TKO due to exhaustion. That might be the move, but I can just see Robert Whittaker piecing him up at range, mixing in the takedowns when he has to. I know he has good takedown defense, but I think with the striking skills of Robert Whittaker, it's going to be easier for him to mix in takedowns than a guy that purely wants to wrestle. With Ikram Aliskerov, I'm not sure what the odds are going to be. I'm going to assume most people are going to be picking Robert Whittaker. I really am disappointed, man. I'm really disappointed because I thought that Khamzat Chimaev was going to actually beat Whittaker. I actually think he would have been a really tough test for Chimaev, obviously, but I thought Chimaev was going to be able to use physicality. He was going to get to the DAS choke. That was what I was going to pick. I was going to say round 1 DAS choke for Khamzat Chimaev, and now I feel like the only chance that, you know, Ikram Aliskerov has, I mean, he's beating Phil Hawes and fucking Wally Alves, dude. I feel like the only chance that this goofy goober has, let me see the predictions. Yeah, it's going to be Aliskerov. That is way too close a prediction. I get, fair enough. I feel like, yeah, most people are right. Aliskerov's only chance is to win this by KO. I think Robert Whittaker's chin is going to be the biggest, you know, X factor in this matchup. I don't think the reach advantage of Aliskerov is going to be too big of a deal. You know, I think he's just going to be a bit too wild, a bit too looping with his punches. He's going to be throwing up the occasional head kick and the occasional knee that Robert Whittaker needs to watch out for. But other than that, I mean, you look at the guys that Robert Whittaker's fought, you know, Paulo Costa's a pretty similar matchup to Ikram Aliskerov, in my opinion. I think he's a dangerous guy who's going to be hard to take down, but is not going to be super accurate, not going to be super, you know, sharp with his striking. I think to KO Robert Whittaker and to have this, you know, not flash knockdown of him, you have to be a really technical striker, or you have to have technical skills. You know, Dricus du Plessis, he's a goofy goober. He's a gaslighter. I'm going to do the gaslighter tier list soon, but I got to do this video first. You know, but he does have moments where if he hits you hard, he's going to be hitting you clean on the chin. You know, Ikram Aliskerov, he's throwing these big looping shots. He's got his eyes closed. He's whipping up head kicks and falling over. I just don't think Aliskerov's as accurate as Israel Adesanya, as accurate as Dricus du Plessis when he's southpaw, especially, he's super dangerous. I just don't see that happening. I think if anybody's picking Ikram Aliskerov, it's probably via flash KO because of the Paulo Costa fight, and I just don't even think Ikram Aliskerov would beat Paulo Costa. This guy is such an overhyped fucking prospect. Again, I'm not gonna say most people are gonna pick him because I feel like we're all in the agreement here that Robert Whittaker's been handed a fucking win here. But yeah, I think Robert Whittaker's gonna win by jabs, oblique kicks, the occasional head kick. I think he's gonna mix in some takedowns and kind of I don't know how to describe it. Kind of whip Aliskerov across his body and put him flat on his back and end up in side control. And I think he's just going to hold Aliskerov when he needs to. Jab with him at range when he needs to. He's just going to pick him apart. And it's disappointing for Whittaker too because I am excited to see him get a win. I would love to see him win this fight convincingly. But I don't think this gets him a title shot. And I think even if he had beat Whittaker, he would have had to fight Sean Strickland. So I feel for Whittaker, this is kind of like no reward, high risk matchmaking here. If he loses, he's fucked. Like, if he loses this fight, Aliskerov is going to get a fucking title shot, which is crazy. And if he wins, you know, he gets credit for it, but I feel like people are going to say, oh, the guy's not even ranked. You know, he doesn't deserve a title shot. He needs to beat Sean Strickland. So I feel like that is kind of the boat that Robert Whittaker's in, win or lose in this matchup. He's not getting a title shot. But yeah, I feel for Khamzat Chimaev. I am appalled, I guess, confused by the people that are hating on Chimaev for being in hospital. I know you're gonna say I'm like a Dagestani glazer, bro. It is just ridiculous to see fans saying cut Chimaev from the promotion for being fucking sick in hospital. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? What the fuck do you want, bro? I don't get it, dude. I am just as disappointed as you in the activity of Chimaev in the past 4 fucking years. What has he had? 4 fights in 4? Let me see this, bro. Chimaev has been inactive as fuck. I get it, bro. I know that there's visa issues. He was sick as well. He's in a bad portion of his career, bro. And I think what we're all mad about is the wasted potential. Yeah, he's been inactive as fuck, bro. He's been inactive as fuck. You know, since the Kevin Holland fight. He's had 1 fight since then. I get it, bro. I'm just as eager to see him fight and not see him on the sidelines as you are. I hate seeing him with Kadyrov and all this shit as well. But this one, I feel like you can't really put on him. The Paulo Costa fight fell through because of Paulo Costa, right? And again, I don't blame Costa for that either. Look how active he's been since that happened, right? You know, people are going to hate on him for the Kamaru Usman fight. I thought he won that fight. It was a close matchup. It's Kamaru Usman. He's pound for pound, bro. He's on the pound for pound list, or he was when they fought. So I don't know. I hope people don't give Chimaev too much slack for this. I really hope not, because this seems just like an unfortunate event on a fucking unfortunate day, bro. Because when you look at the news, UFC 303 is falling apart as well. People are talking about, oh, Conor Chandler's been postponed. Allberg versus Hill is off. I met Alex Pereira yesterday, by the way. Speaking of, I punched Alex Pereira in the stomach and he didn't hit me back. So basically, I outstruck Alex Pereira. So I'm just saying, guys. I'm going to drop a photo of that on my Instagram soon. So go check that out at Bedtime MMA. But yeah, 303 is falling apart as well. Listen, I'm not going to comment on 303 until we get news on it. So this video is just about Chimaev, Whittaker, Aliskerov. I'm glad we still have Pavlovich versus Volkov. And yeah, man, I'm really disappointed that we get Aliskerov, Whittaker. How fucking lucky is this Aliskerov guy? I remember when he beat Wally Alves, John. Somebody get this man a top 15 opponent for beating Wally Alves. And this fucker has managed to pull it off. He's getting the #1 contendership fight. People hate on Umar Nurmagomedov. Fuck, at least he's beating guys that were like close to being ranked. This guy's beating up Wally Alves. It's fucking crazy, man. I feel like when Dana White was making this matchup and he was talking about it on Instagram, he's like, we offered everyone in the division Ikram Aliskerov. Did you offer everyone in the division Robert Whittaker? You're telling me you couldn't have done Robert Whittaker versus Nasruddin Imavov? We couldn't get Whittaker versus fucking... Who else? Dolidze, I would take Whittaker versus Dolidze. That's how much I hate this matchup. You guys know how I feel about Dolidze. I would rather see Robert Whittaker versus Roman fucking Dolidze than Whittaker versus what's his name, Aliskerov. But I get the idea. He's an unproven prospect. You can kind of sell it based on the mystery. Oh, he might be able to beat Whittaker. He was a tough fight for Chimaev. You never know. Like, I get what they're doing. I get that the region is what it is, and that's kind of a reason why Aliskerov's in on the matchup as well. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to see the privilege that this guy is getting. As for UFC 303, like I said, I'm not gonna make a video about that until we get news about it. My prediction is McGregor Chandler's off. It's been postponed. It's been pushed back to 306 at the Sphere. That's the vibe that I'm getting. If they're gonna do a main event, Ariel Helwani said something about a main event and a new co-main event. I think the main event, let's do Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira for the BMF belt. And co-main event, who should be in the main event? Who should be in the co-main event, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Listen, they want me to fight Brian, what's his name? Diego Lopez? Fine, dude. That's part of my rebirth, bro. I got to take out another prospect and then get, 50-45 by Topuria. That's what it is, dude. Sometimes the best counter fight is no counter fight, right? We got to move that fight back. It's part of the rebirth. Got to push it back. That's what I think it should be. If 303 is really as fucked as they say it is, Max versus Charles Oliveira for the BMF belt, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez co-main event. I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that. That's the best you can make out of this situation. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing Whittaker fraud check Ikram Aliskerov. I really think this is a free win for him. This is the last thing I'm going to say about this, dude. I think this is a free win for Robert Whittaker, bro. I'm not going to lie. I might title the video, Robert Whittaker just got a free win. Because I feel like Ikram Aliskerov is so fucking overhyped. And when I watch this guy fight, I just don't see patience. I don't see fluidity. I just see a guy who's big, who's powerful, who's aggressive, and can overwhelm people. And I think early on he might be able to overwhelm Robert Whittaker. But as soon as this fight leaves round 1, as soon as we're in round 3 of this fight, I think Robert Whittaker is just going to be jabbing this guy's fucking face off. I think he's going to be calf kicking the shit out of him. And again, I can just see him scooping under a punch, whipping him onto his butt, passing through to side control, holding down Aliskerov, getting on his back, controlling him, punching him from the back. I just think Robert Whittaker is just too well-rounded, too fucking good to fight Ikram Aliskerov. I respect Robert Whittaker a lot for taking this fight. And yeah, man, I'm wondering if we're still going to get a press conference for this, because I think we would have got one if it was Chimaev Whittaker, and we would have got, what do I think about Chimaev? I don't think about him. I don't think about him at all. He's huge. Yeah, he's a scary guy. What do I think about? I make people hate fighting. And then Chimaev would have fucking been up there. Brother, I don't give a fuck about this, brother. I have to smash this guy. I like this guy, but I have to smash him, brother. And I have to eat him like wolf. I'm coming for the belt, brother. This is it, brother. But now we get fucking this bullshit. We probably won't even get a press conference. The card's hype is just dead. Now it does feel like a fight night, but yeah, at least we're going to see Robert Whittaker get a win, man. So that's my thoughts on this matchup. All in all, I feel bad for Chimaev. I hope he's doing well. I think Whittaker's going to absolutely school fucking Aliskerov. And for 303, if it is cooked, I'm waiting for news on it to drop a full video about it. But if it's cooked, do Max versus Charles for the BMF and do Diego Lopez versus Brian Ortega for the co-main. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Who do you think's going to win this fight between Whittaker and Aliskerov? What do you think's going on with 303? I would love to hear your opinions in the comments down below, boys. And yeah, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA to see me mog Alex Pereira. And yeah, boys, I'll see you in the next video, man. Goodbye.